Welcome to Super Happy Dragon Lucky. The show will begin momentarily.
All right, everyone, welcome to Super Happy Dragon Lucky. This is episode 9B, 90B. It is the 156th episode. Remember, nothing on the show is financial advice. And stay tuned after the updates for a 3-question AMA, where the top 3 questions and total votes will get. We'll get one lot in the Dragonchain layer. Let's see here. First up, on the number go up update, although we had several things to choose from this week, we are going to do the Super Happy Dragon Lucky episode count because this is the 3-year anniversary of the show. We've never skipped a week. It's been pretty good, and you always can get your updates here. We did change from formats from just interviews and updates to updates mostly and AMA. So I think it's been easier to execute because we don't have to worry about guests. And if you can, go back and watch some old episodes, and I will give you matter or lore or lot personally if you find the time marker and something interesting from a former interview. As an example, I haven't posted it because I wasn't sure if I wanted to post it, but I did rewatch the Mashinsky episode where we interviewed him, and he said some very interesting things about people holding their tokens inside of Celsius. So, go back and watch that. Go back and watch a few of the other episodes. There were some pretty good ones in there. So anyway, it's been a good 3 years, right? Next, we're going to go in Dragonchain updates. In case you missed it, the blog Dragonchain solves the blockchain trilemma. Dragonchain is the only platform capable of scaling to today's centralized global volume while still offering decentralized verification with measurable proof, which we pioneered. We envisioned that way back before anyone else was even thinking of that, and unmatched security where it would matter to a business. And a question that's been popping up lately, particularly in Dragonchain layer chat, has been on the volatility and the metrics. And I hadn't thought about it until one of the engineers brought it up to someone on the team. And as you know from prior updates, that we have just done a Dragonchain core update, which is super interesting because after years of seeing how people build on Dragonchain and where certain idiosyncrasies are, we essentially designed a a new way to handle it. And so this upgrade to the core platform is almost complete, at least the first iteration. We have some more production testing to do, but we are working right now to deploy the new core update with the Den platform. And so in the midst of that, we've had to migrate all of the existing chain data into the new store location, which is inside the database right next to all of the application data. And in that process, we have a second chain to handle the cutover so that they can, they were running in parallel for a while, at least on and off, to verify that everything was running. So we think some of it is that. I don't think all of it is that, but at least a decent amount of the increases in volume and then the drop off has been because we were doing that. The engineers were. So one way or another, Den should be deploying soon to the new Dragonchain update, or would it be the Dragonchain update is deploying to Den? I'm not sure how you would look at it, but either way, it is going to be a massive help, because a lot of the things that we want to do, including making the on-chain data more available, with something closer to a block explorer, if the DAO votes to that, to do that, would be much simpler to handle. And anything else related directly to the chain, like say, to look at the proof of a particular post, or when we get into the when we get to publishing the consensus data, the fact that it would have the proof there as well, the metrics to have the proof there. So a lot of those things will be simpler to implement for the engineers. So anyway, hopefully that's welcomed. It's going to be important. And since Den is the first application, the first chain to get this update, it will be very helpful to get the data, because Den is a very vibrant system, and there's a lot of activity that happens between the votes and the chats and the posts and the replies and all of the mining and behavior rewards. So, and all of the DAOs for that matter, the fact that we have so many DAOs running on Den. So anyway, it's going to be important. It's going to be nice. It's going to be neat, and more updates in the future. Okay, so next we're going to go to Den.Social updates. The first is the layer creation process. The July 2022 LCP layers are live. So this month we had 3.6 million LOR committed, which created 3.629062 LOT. So one LOR is locked into every NFT. And we have created over 176 million LOT to date. I'm pretty sure that's more NFTs than any other platform has ever created, even outside, I don't know, I'm pretty sure. And that there are 121 layers, each one its own DAO, if they choose to treat it that way, that have been created to date. So the winners this month are the top and unique voters was Craft Beer, which will be fun. Lots of really good info there. The number 5 most LOR committed was Preppers. Probably very well needed these days and in the coming months, sadly. And then the number 13 most LOR committed is the Modern Man. So get in there and at least make sure you subscribe. I know, and check this out for your own activity and kind of see if this fits your behavior. That I had not myself subscribed until last night, that I didn't realize they were live. And one way or another, I'm thinking that we want to pass something that on the DAO that will essentially auto subscribe as a trial to all denizens, the new LCP layers. and you could turn that feature off, but essentially it would bring you in. And then when you see content from that layer, whether it's a DAO vote or a post or reply or something in your feed, you would immediately be able to say, oh, that's a new layer, I'm not interested, and shut that off for that layer, the trial, or you could immediately subscribe. So it'd be a way to get it in front of people and get these new layers, more subscribers, to help them kick off in their value. So anyway, I think that was a discussion, and I'm going to probably want to put that in for a proposal soon. So think about that, see if that fits your behavior. Next, turn in tomorrow for Coffee with Den. And you might want to watch it because I know they're getting ready to launch a new layer as a DAO for this show, for that show, Coffee with Den. And when I move to a different time zone, I will probably try to start participating in that show a little more. Right now, it's a little bit too early in the morning for me. So make sure you go to their show post to ask a question, post some feedback in the reply section, or even ask for them to add something to the agenda that you would want to talk about. And starting August 17th, Coffee with Den is relaunching in its own layer. So I didn't realize the date. All denizens who have participated at that point will be made into owners of the show. So that's pretty awesome. Okay, next, the DenDAO meeting, which is a live call Thursday at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. UTC. See the post in the DenDAO layer for the agenda, a link to join live. You're welcome to join to cover anything over Den. It's a meeting. It's not a show. Don't be shy. You don't have to show your video if you don't want. And mostly we want to get to offer a way to make very simple feedback, questions, demos, things like that. And to discuss anything that is, easier discussed on a call than it might be in a thread. So one way or another, join that. And again, if you check on there, you can ask questions or request that certain things be added to the agenda in that show post. Next, let's do a World Blockchain Roundtable update. So episode 61 will be this Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific. The topic is the pitfalls of celebrity shilling. Imagine that. There are pitfalls to that. Leave a question or subject to discuss, please. If you get your question on the show, you will be rewarded in LOT for the Roundtable DAO. And make sure you watch and share last week's show, which was DAOs as constitutional city-states. The more views it gets in its first week, the more LOT all the participants will get. It's actually was a really good show too. There are a lot of really good potential, a lot of good topics on how essentially blockchain can solve a lot of these real world issues with our systems that are all broken. So I think that's everything. Well, make sure you watch the roundtable this Thursday at 3 p.m. UTC, 8 a.m. Pacific. And the AMA is right after this.
Now, more than ever, our data is at risk. Our supply chains are in jeopardy. Our systems are broken, and businesses feel powerless. Dragonchain gives you a different way, a safer way, a better way, and you have power over your data. Dragonchain gives you proof in an untrusted world. Build now at Dragonchain.com, America's blockchain.
All right, so we refresh the page. We get to the 3 questions. There were a bunch of people, because I had mentioned it was the 3-year mark, but I think we only got 1 question, so we'll see. Jacob Wayne, happy 3-year, thank you. And he does offer, maybe we could do bonus rewards. Sorry, I didn't have time to really think about it. We realized it was 3 years, much too late to do anything with everything going on. So nothing special today, but we'll see. Anyway, I'll get your question though. So what are the technical benefits of tipping Matter, LOR, and LOT on Den? For example, does this provide more involvement in your behavior algorithm? And would it help you when voting on governance issues? Or is it more of a community morality thing? I realized recently I'm not giving like I should, and I want to do better, especially on posts that truly speak to me. So mostly, if I remember correctly, and sorry, there's a lot going on recently. So when I first saw this question a few minutes ago, I had to think about it, but I believe that the tipping currently has no effect, no direct effect, no intentional effect on the behavior algorithms for the governance or for mining or in the farming, the LOR behavior rewards. So, and that was because we didn't have we didn't have enough information when we set it up to have a clear idea of how it should be rewarded or what should be rewarded. We are going to look at that for certain. The LOR behavior rewards is open to change if the DAO votes on it, and maybe we would propose to add extra LOR rewards for people tipping inside of Den. It will also probably have or at least the most likely effect when we institute the LOT and matter swap, where you would essentially be able to distribute your LOT to people who are interested in a particular community, by essentially saying, look, I'll give up so much of my LOT, and I'll give it up at based upon the reward structure. So if it was a 30-day average that every one of my LOT makes one matter every 30 days, and I'm going to put up 5,000, then I could set it at a 10-day, 30-day, 90-day, 120-day value to say, essentially it would reward people for understanding that they're going to trade some matter for that LOT in order to provide more content to that layer to increase the amount that it generates every month. So when that happens, it will probably make sense, or we'll have more information about things like the LOT that is being distributed. We also have some ideas for liquidity that have never been tried before. That would be behavior-based liquidity, and hopefully we'll get to talk about that soon. I've talked to a couple of projects about it that were interested in how to handle liquidity on their projects, and we've seen some patterns that other projects have in terms of people exiting versus buying in, and the difference in utility versus, I guess, market price, and trying to reconcile those. And so we have some ideas, and might be experimenting with Den and that, or at least we might make it possible for others in the community to experiment with this other mechanism. So probably talk about that a little more. But the main thing, and probably what the most important answer to this question right now is, it literally is for community effect, and it's most probably effective with LOT. That, for example, I came in, I thought that we needed something that would push the visual and give us some more reasons to try to figure out what Den should look to do with visuals. We have, based upon what we've seen, we have some pretty good ideas that have been floating around, but I put a bunch of LOR into Amazing Views as an example, and I have too much of it. And what I wanted to do was essentially say, anytime I see something that is obviously original and goes, well beyond the normal, here's a picture I took of my dog or something. And especially if there is some content behind it, here is a picture of this trip or this hike or this something, right? And what I've been doing is awarding those people that produce that content with lots, so they will come back and produce more content. So they have, all of the extra benefits of having that lot. So that one's very obvious and clear for people that might, especially like people that have come in new, that weren't there when that layer was created a while back, stuff like that. We've seen that with other people too, that they tend to have programs that they adjust over time where they reward it. And the tipping is particularly effective in that way because you can on your own see it. Now, with Matter and LOR, it is the same thing, that if there's a new user that looks to be producing some good content, or if they're asking questions about how the layers are made, it's good to give them some LOR. And obviously it's good to give people some Matter if they are boosting content of their own or others occasionally. So it's a pretty cool thing in that way. And yet it's not I guess meeting its whole potential yet. So that's some of the I guess point behind it. With it there, if we knew, or if we had some idea of how to measure it, and I guess if it was just a competitive thing that maybe whoever tips the most in Matter or LOT or even LOR would get a chunk of a new pool that was set up in the behavior rewards. So that would probably be the idea. And sorry, it's a long answer, but it was the only question. So good question, Jacob Wayne. And the rest are responses to the 3-year. Sorry, we didn't get to anything, but thank you very much. It's like, oh, that's interesting. That looks like JoJo. I wonder if that was, if you just found that somewhere. Anyway, so thank you, everybody. It was a good 3 years. And next, let's see here, merch. It is still July, and we still have 10% off of all of America's blockchain until the end of the month. So if you go to Dragonchain.store, enter America's Blockchain 2022, you'll get 10% off any of the US flag stuff. And in closing, watch us again next Tuesday. Follow Dragonchain, Real Denizens, and Jojo Row on Den first, and Twitter and LinkedIn. And make sure that you like, comment, and share this show. And I think that's it. So have a good week. Talk to you soon.
But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other thing. Not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win. We choose to go to the moon.